Hey everybody, we're going to do something a little different now. We're actually going to do a walkthrough tour of the Sugarlands Visitor Center. There are 3 visitor centers in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, one at each entrance here in Gatlinburg on the Tennessee side, and one on the North Carolina side in Cherokee. There's also one in Cades Cove halfway through the loop. So at all 3 of these visitor centers, you can go in and purchase things that souvenirs that are in regards to the park. You can get calendars, you can get jams and jellies, you can get shirts, you can get music CDs that are feature the music of this area, and
cookbooks, trail books.
Cookbooks, trail books. Yeah, definitely trail books. That's a good point. Hiking books that give you a guide to all the many trails in the national park. So just a whole wide variety of things. We're going to go in here and give you a walkthrough tour. And also, many of you are not aware, maybe many of you are, that coming up in March there is going to be a parking pass requirement for Great Smoky Mountains National Park. If you are parked more than 15 minutes, you have to buy a parking pass. That's never been a case before. Now, the Great Smokies cannot charge an interest fee because of a promise and an agreement that was made to the people who had land here that there would never be, if they gave up their land for the establishment of the park, there would never be an entrance fee charged. That's why if you go to Grand Canyon, I think it was $30 or $35 when we went. Great Smoky Mountains National Park does not have an entrance fee, but they are going to institute a parking pass fee, meaning if you drive through the park, you don't have to pay. If you're parked in any one spot for under 15 minutes, you don't have to have it. But anything beyond that, you will. So we're going to go in here. We do have some questions about it as well, and we want to get some of that information out there so that it's correct. And we're going to try to find out some things that we're wondering about as well in regards to that. And we're going to feature that in this video, so stay tuned. Right out the front of the visitor center, this has been here for years. It's a First Amendment expression area. This area has been set aside for individuals or groups exercising their constitutional First Amendment rights. The National Park Service neither encourages nor discourages or otherwise endorses these activities. Now, what that means is you can stand right here, and whatever your viewpoint on anything is, you can stand here and express it. There used to be people, I haven't seen them in years, they used to stand right here and they were peddling, or not really, yeah, they were actually peddling. They were asking for donations, but they belonged to the Hare Krishna group. I'll just call it group for the sake of this video, not angering people. But I used to come here and kind of talk to them and witness to them. I could stand here and preach the gospel if I wanted to, and nobody would say a thing to me. So whatever you want to express here, this is a place to come and stand and do it. And I just want to say something about the First Amendment. There's a lot of people who have no clue what the First Amendment is, and a lot of people try to say that we shouldn't have any mention of God or prayer in schools because of the First Amendment. That is absolutely a misinterpretation of the First Amendment. That is not what the Founding Fathers had in mind. In fact, the words separation, church, or state, none of those words are even found in the First Amendment. Many people think that the First Amendment is talking about separation of church and state. It is not. What it does is guarantee that the government cannot make a right to suppress the free exercise of people's beliefs. You know, kind of like they tried to do 2 years ago by trying to make all the churches shut down. That was unconstitutional. So I don't give a lot of political opinions on here, but this time I'm going to. The First Amendment guarantees you the right to believe or speak about your beliefs in any way you see fit, and to practice your religion any way you see fit. And that means that I can go in any building in the country and I can talk about God if I want to. Amen. So I just wanted to make that clear. But anyway, this is a spot here designated specifically for First Amendment rights. So let's go inside. Walking in over here, they've got it now going in where you have to go in on the left side and you come out the right side. So we're going to go in the Sugarlands Visitor Center. And they're already sold out. Hold on, let me get that on the door. They're already sold out of the parking tags. You got to buy them, but you don't have them. So as you come in, it gives you a screen here with information on road closures, things to see and do, informational things here. You can, if you want to know about Newfound Gap Road, which is the main road, Highway 441 across the park, Foothills Parkway, some scenic sections outside the park, Oconaluftee, very beautiful remote area on the North Carolina side, Cades Cove, very beautiful and not so remote area in Tennessee. It's very crowded. Roaring Fork, beautiful fall drive, and Clingman's Dome, the highest point in the national park, which is closed from December through March because of weather. Sometimes into April if they get a late snowstorm, which they usually do. So, black bear here. It's a rather small one. We've seen some a lot bigger than that. Four Seasons of the Smokies right here. Get over here a little closer to that. That looks like the Carter Shell's cabin in Cades Cove. And also, if you got a passport book and you collect the stamps, right here's where you get it. Here we've got a map of the park. If I had room in my basement to put one of these, I'd have one. It shows the mountainous terrain in this area. You'd be good to go.
That right there is where you can get more information. But yeah, perfect. That's where you pointed at.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's about a picnic. Like if you come out.
Yeah, that's a good question. Picnic areas.
So all this, believe it or not,
If you do have a question that we don't include in this video, go to this website and go to the frequently asked questions.
And all of it's
That should answer it.
yeah, absolutely. So
And here's the souvenir area. Of course, you can get the little dollar brochures right here for really a whole plethora of information. If you want to see the waterfalls, there are many waterfalls in the park. There are many day hikes, auto tours. I'm not going to read them all, but different sections of the park, such as Roaring Fork, Oconaluftee, Cades Cove, Clingman's Dome, Newfound Gap Road. So here you just drop your dollar in.
Want a bag? Are you going to be in the area tomorrow?
Information on the Appalachian Trail, which has its highest point at Clingman's Dome here in the Smokies. Now, if you'd like to drive through, I have this book here. That's a very good resource there. They call this the Hiker's Bible. I don't actually have that one. I have other trail books, but that one gives you an in-depth of all the trails in the park. There's some of that mountain music that is native to this area, bluegrass, Native American.
Thank you for your generosity. Here you go.
Little Smoky bears. Many park animals, coyote, I guess that's a deer, could be an elk, I'd say it's a deer. Children's books.
Mom, is that what we saw? Mom, is that what we saw?
And if you enjoy like relaxation, nature videos, they have them on Blu-ray disc. I actually have all. I picked a thing of baskets there. I have all of these. Well, let me not say all of them. All of the official ones for the national park there. I don't have this one here, but you can buy those separately, or you can buy this. I think you get all of them on one. I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Island in the Sky. See, that's the first one there. Seasons of the Smokies. All of them are on this, and they're really nice. License plates. I actually have that license plate and that one. You can get cornmeal ground right here in the cove from Mingus Mill or the Cable Mill, either one. There's two of them. Cable Mill's in Cades Cove. Mingus Mill is on the North Carolina side of the park. You can get candy bars, some jams, jellies. And Shauncey's looking at t-shirts. Any nice shirts?
I've got that one.
Are those on clearance?
I don't think so.
I want me a Clingman's Dome shirt. I don't have one. How much is it?
If you find any shirts you like on this display rack, let me know and I can pull them for you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Of course, you're welcome.
The one I got is $24.99.
I got a lot more over there. I guess that's the ones that are on the display rack. There's some socks. Of course, you can pick up your passport book and your travel stamps here. And these, I guess, would have every national park and probably a lot of state parks in them. I don't remember which one we got for Dylan, but he has gotten a lot of his stamps. And of course, when you hike, you can pick up your medallions or your patches here. We've actually done a lot of these hikes, and I don't think we've ever bought a.
I know, I thought about doing
Yeah.
something like that.
Again, just more informational books. If you'll remember, we did the hike to LeConte last year. That's a tough hike. All right, if you'll recall, we did this hike last year around my birthday. And that's a tough hike. There's 5 trails that lead to the top of it, and none of them easy. But I'll tell you one thing, the Alum Cave Trail up is very scenic. The Trillium Gap Trail coming down, I wouldn't care if they let that one grow over. But Alum Cave is a beautiful trail. There's your patches.
Okay, I got them down, so I'm just gonna let you.
This is a very interesting book right here. I have it, and I love when we come camping up here, just sit in the campground and read several of the stories. It talks about things, natural disasters that happen here. There's some criminal catching criminals here in the park that have escaped from other places. Really neat read. Travel Tears tells the removal of the Cherokee, the eastern band of the Cherokee to Oklahoma.
I know Durwood.
This was Cherokee land many years ago.
That would be the driest book you've ever read in your life. It will be thoroughly researched before it's heavy.
And here's National Park Monopoly and Scrabble.
I'm saying Durwood was. Yes.
You got a camping game. That's something if you want to sit around a campfire, I guess. That's neat.
Which is that? Okay.
Just information on anything you'd want to know. Very pretty blankets right here. Throw blankets, I guess. I like that one with the black bear. I love black bear. And then they have a little nature exhibit museum back in here, featuring some of the many flora and fauna of the Smoky Mountains. Cove Hardwoods Forest. That's what you typically experience under 4,000 feet of elevation. Right here at the Visitor Center, we're about 1,450 feet above sea level, but the elevations do top out at over 6,600 feet. So there's a wide variety of not just trees and flowers in the park. Some can't survive up at the top that do survive down here, and vice versa. And there's also a lot of climate zones that you go through from here to the top. It's like a trip from Georgia to Canada in one day. When you get up towards the top, the snowfall greatly increases, the precipitation overall increases, and the temperatures decrease. It can be 50 degrees down here, and it can be in the 20s up top, so just to give you an idea of what to prepare for. fox. Yeah. And everybody's favorite, a skunk. Who doesn't love a skunk? Groundhog. Or woodchuck. There's a red fox. Here we go. This is a northern water snake, and of course a turtle. I'm going to go ahead and give you a word of advice now about these snapping turtles. Keep your finger away from them things' mouth. Once they get a grip on you, they don't let go. There's a water snake mistakenly identified as a copperhead by a guy in Cades Cove last year. Check out our Cades Cove camping video. Guy came and removed a snake out of a structure, told everybody it was a copperhead, and it was absolutely not. It was one of these right here. Here we got a. Now these are a nuisance. These are not native, but they live here now in large numbers, and they're a nuisance. It's a wild boar. They do a lot of damage to they uproot things, and they're mean. You do not want to mess with one. They will hurt you.
That's little tusk look like they could.
Yeah. These ain't a farmyard pig. These are some rough creatures. What we got here? A grouse. What's that over our beehive?
Yeah, I guess that's
Okay.
hornet.
Oh, we got a snake under it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And over here we got a bobcat. We saw what we thought was a bobcat out back of our motel, what, about 3 years ago? At least that's what we thought it was. I hollered, "Hey Bob," he didn't turn around, so it could have been something else.
It had all the lookings
It
and
was a
likings.
bobcat. He just wasn't answering to his name. Alright, so that pretty much concludes the, oh yeah, the spruce fir forest. That's what you would find up closer to the top, like what you would find in the eastern United States, Midwest and upper Midwest and Canada. Climate in the upper elevations of the Smokies is very comparable to that. Here we got a timber rattlesnake. We saw some of those sunning inside the rocks on Mount Cameron. We did that hike.
Yeah, we
They
did.
weren't bothering anybody.
We didn't bother.
We didn't bother them. I respect life. I don't. People say going to good snake's a dead snake. That's just ignorance, honestly. There are many beneficial snakes, and just the rest of them, just leave them alone.
Mountain laurel.
Mountain laurel. Some people do confuse that with rhododendron, but there is a difference. Mountain laurel has little small white flowers on it, and the leaves seem like a little shorter and maybe wider. And rhododendron has,
So they actually have small leaf rhododendron. So that
Okay.
could be very well
yeah.
mistaken. No, on the other
That's like
side
a
is
purple
rhododendron.
flower, though. Right there, that's a rhododendron, bigger leaves.
Bigger leaves, bigger flowers.
Yes. Well, I thought we were about done. I found this other little area, so here we got a little mink. And what's that? Muskrat. There's a lot more in here that I haven't shown. Here I got the common and very beneficial black snake. I don't ever bother a black snake. Tell you something, we have those around our garden. I'd a lot rather have them than have the rats. Black snake don't eat my stuff.
Another rhododendron.
Another
Rose
rhododendron,
bay.
yeah.
So these have
There's
really
a
big
I
leaves.
think there's a catawba rhododendron and a rose bay
But-
rhododendron. Was the other catawba?
Yeah, the one
Okay.
back there.
Yeah. And of course, a trout, brook trout, and rainbow trout. There's also brown trout in these waters too. One of them is native. The rainbow is not native. It may be the brook or the brown trout, and I don't think you can keep them.
Yeah, I think ain't the brown kind of rare to find.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's step outside and.
Oh,
We'll say a few things. Okay, well, we do hope you enjoyed the tour of the Sugarlands Visitor Center. Again, it's one of 3 visitor centers in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is the one that's just outside of Gatlinburg. So we wanted to do this for actually something different to do. I don't think we've ever featured a visitor center unless we did Cades Cove in the camping video, and I don't remember if there's a section on that or not. But anyway, I also wanted to go in and find out some information, some questions we ourselves had about the new parking pass requirements that are going to be coming up in the national park. I actually did ask the man inside if we could record him and ask him questions. He did not want to do that. I don't know if he's not allowed to do it.
I don't think he's allowed to do it.
Okay, but he said that if we were just standing there recording while he was explaining to somebody doing his job, that would be fine. But as far as just an interview, he didn't want to do that. So we asked him the questions that we wanted to know. So we're going to relate that information here, and you're going to have to help me with this. But starting March of this year, 2023, there is going to be a new requirement that's never existed before in the national park, and that is that if you are parked in any section of the national park, you have to have a parking pass. You can get an annual pass, which is $40 a year, or you can get a week pass, I think it's $15. Now, if I'm giving you the numbers here, check me on the website. If you'll notice that clip that had the website, check me on this to make sure I'm right. But I think the weekly pass is $15 and the daily pass is $5. I do remember him saying that. So if you're only going to be up here for a couple of days and you're only going to be in the national park one day, you want to ride up to Klingman's Dome, your best bet would be get the day pass. If you frequent the area a lot and you do a lot within the national park boundaries, again, this does not apply to the towns. You pay through the nose to park in them. So don't get me off on that. So this just does apply within the national park boundaries. So if you are parked at any one spot for more than 15 minutes, if you do it a lot during the year, your best bet may be the annual pass. That means
pass is per vehicle. Too.
Yeah, that's right. You can't just buy one and transfer it to another vehicle because it's going to have your tag on it. You can switch the tag, but no, you didn't hear that from me. But you didn't hear that from me, and I'm not advocating anybody do that.
We ain't doing that.
No. It's tempting, but since we do have 3 vehicles, we ain't buying a yearly pass for all 3. We'll probably do maybe one for the trucks. We do camp in the park with some frequency. And that was one of the questions I asked him, does this apply to campgrounds? Now, here's the answer to that. If you are parked in your campsite parking space, you have paid for that when you paid the camping fee. So as long as your vehicle's in that spot, you're fine. But like when we camp in Cades Cove, if we get in our truck to drive through the loop and we want to get out and hike to a cabin and we're going to be gone longer than 15 minutes, we have to have it. And it also includes any trailhead in the park. The one that surprised me, I asked him this, I said, if we are visiting one of the visitor centers, such as this one or the Oconaluftee in Cherokee, do we have to have it to park at the visitor center? Because they got a souvenir store. If you're coming in here to shop or something and to buy some souvenirs, yes. The answer to that's yes. That was probably the one I had the biggest problem with.
As long as you're here more than 15 minutes.
But you know what? They didn't ask me if I had a problem with it, so they'll do it anyway. So.
And one thing though too, you can order them online, print them off. And they are actually doing construction out here. They're going to be putting kiosks throughout the park.
Yes,
for you to
at various
purchase
locations, kiosks for you to get
So
them.
if you decide, hey, I need one,
Yeah.
you can go to the kiosk.
So if you come between now and March, you're good. This doesn't go into effect until March, but just be aware of that. And you know, it's like anything else. Do I like it? No. Do I understand it? Yes. Nobody likes to have to start paying for something they've done for years without paying. Nobody likes that. But I'm just going to be honest with you. You have people that come here, and I don't know how to say this now, that they trash the park. Look at any of the national park signs as you come in. People have to write their names on them. This is public government property. Well, it's public property, but it's a government sign, and people scribble their names on it. Once the virus hit, we would be on hiking trails and see, we could count the masks, 15, 20 masks on a hiking trail. There are people who simply don't respect the park when they come. Personally, if you're one of those, I wish you'd stay home and not come and ruin it for the rest of us. You don't know how to act. But what they're trying to do, they're going to take these fees, and they're supposed to be hiring more park personnel to try to have at various areas to stop some of this. So if it'll do that, I'll gladly buy one, because this is a beautiful area and it should be treated with respect and
Taken care of.
So the others may enjoy it, and there are some people who come here and just don't do that. So I get it. Do I like it? No, but I get it. So that's the way it is. We wanted to provide that information for you so that you'll know it. If there's any other questions you have that we didn't answer, did we leave anything out?
I don't think so, but you know, check that website out. They have frequently asked questions, and he
Yeah.
did say they are constantly learning. There are new
Yeah, even they didn't know all the ins and
that are
outs
coming
yet.
up that people are asking, so they are.
And I know
still
that's true,
learning.
because when we camped last year in Cades Cove, we asked the rangers, they said, we have no idea. We asked them, are we going to have to pay extra to park at our own campsite? And they said, we have no idea. We went across to Cherokee and asked them. They had no idea. So even the rangers themselves don't, you know, I think they're kind of getting the information now. But even the guy we asked, he initially gave us the wrong answer about the camp parking space. He said, yeah, you have to buy an extra. I said, well, that conflicts with what I was told by another ranger. And then another ranger corrected him, said, no, as long as you're in your camping space. So you
But
don't.
if you're picnicking,
Yes, that's another thing. Yes, picnic areas, you got to have it.
yeah.
Because you're going to be there obviously more than 15 minutes if you picnic. So just be aware of the requirements when you come, and just try to tell yourself it's going to help better the park.
Yeah.
They don't charge an entrance fee, so you know,
I mean, if you're just coming for
Yeah.
a day and it's $5,
we've been here hundreds of times for free. So you know, it is what
Yeah.
it is. So anyway, thank y'all for watching this. We're going to, actually, they just opened Newfound Gap Road. We're going to ride up to the top. So
see some snow.
stay with us.